In this video, we'll look at how to make a pie chart in Google Sheets. To make a pie chart, of course, if you're using Google Sheets, you have to first get into Google Sheets. Next step, enter your data in. Here I have data representing film showings for a local theater in 2018. I've got the type of movie under column A, and I have the number of movies that were shown of that type in column B. What I would want to do if I want to make a graph of this is highlight this data, including the label. Okay, once I have it highlighted, I'm going to go up to Insert and click on Chart. Now, when I click on Chart, Google is going to take its best guess as to what you want. So in this case, I click on Chart and it gives me a bar graph. Okay, I don't want a bar graph, I want a pie chart. So what I'm going to do is go to my chart editor, which is over here, and I can choose to click on, instead of under setup, instead of column chart, I could get a pie chart. And so it very quickly allows you to change that around. Now, if you want some other type of graph, there are other types of graphs in the menu here, but I just wanted a pie chart, so I chose a pie chart. So if Google Sheets doesn't give you the graph you want, you can go into the chart editor and change that. Now, every once in a while, you may not see the chart editor. You might accidentally click away. If you don't see the chart editor, the idea is to go back to your chart, click on it, and that will bring up this little 3-dot menu, which you can click on, then click on Edit Chart to get back to where you have the setup for your chart. Now, with any graph, this already looks pretty good. We've got our pie chart here. It's showing labels connecting to each wedge of the pie. It's also got the percents for each. So that's very nicely labeled right now automatically for you. But we always want a title on this type of thing. So we would want to customize to get to a title, a place to put a title. So I can click on the pie chart here, and I could change things. So we've got options here. A couple of things. There's a donut option. I really don't care for the donut option. What it does is it just puts an empty hole in there. But remember, what I wanted was to actually go to the title. But while I'm in pie chart here, one thing I wanted to mention is there's a border color. And you could change that border color to be black or some other color. And notice what it does is it really outlines the wedges a little bit better with a border. I kind of like doing that myself because I think it stands out a little bit better. The other thing you can do is choose to put a label on the slices themselves. So you can put the label that's already there. And if there's not enough room, like in documentary, it didn't show it there. So sometimes I prefer these lines that come out to actually label them instead of putting the label inside. So I'm going to go back to none. All right, that was for what you can do under pie chart. I like the border option. I meant to go to chart titles. If you look a little further down, there are chart titles here. So we can have a title for our chart. I'm going to just type in a title here. Remember, this is film showings. So I'll say film showings for a local theater in 2018. So we can be specific. Now be careful here. This is a pie chart. This is not representing the number of film showings. It's representing the percentage. So when you put a title here, every once in a while, somebody may try to say number of film showings. It's not. You could say percentage of film showings, or just by leaving it kind of open, film showings, then through looking at the actual chart itself, you can see that it's representing percents. So I'm going to leave it just saying film showings because then that allows the reader to understand from looking at it that it's percents. Now notice it doesn't center the title until I tell it to, so I'm going to center the title. I'm also going to make it bold just so it stands out a little better. I could change the color of that title, but I'm just going to leave it black. Now, speaking of color, you can play around with the colors of the wedges here, and you may want to do that. Say your document that you're printing is in black and white. If you go to Pie Slice here, you can actually, for each of our categories, change the color. So right now, action is in blue. I might want that action to be in a lighter blue. Okay, or I might want it to be in a version of gray or white because maybe I'm printing this in black and white, and it's going to show up better if I can actually see it in black and white. So you can change the colors on your bars, make them darker, make them lighter, kind of up to you on what you want to do here. Let me go back to maybe something a little different. There we go. So now there you can see them all apart. But that would especially, another reason to avoid the colors maybe would be if you know someone might be reading it who is colorblind. It can be tough to see colors. That's another good reason why you want the boundaries around each pie wedge. Is so that someone who maybe doesn't see the distinguishing characteristics of the color can actually at least see the boundaries. So this chart is labeled pretty well because it's got percentages, labels on each wedge, and then we now have a title. So I think we're in good shape there. If you can click away for the chart editor to go away. You can click back if you want to copy and paste this into a document, click back on there, and you can choose from the menu to copy the chart and then put it in any document you want. So that's making a pie chart in Google Sheets.